We start tonight from Brown University. Thanks for joining us tonight at 11. I'm Ryan Medeiros. We're now officially 1 week removed from that deadly mass shooting here at the Barris and Holly building at Brown University's campus. Now you can see the memorial has grown tremendously this week in honor of the two students who were killed in that shooting. With the shooter now dead, we're taking a look back at that tragic day and the manhunt that followed.
2 victims, 1 shot in the back, 1 shot in the shoulder. We need 1 additional rescue here.
Saturday, December 20th, a day the Brown University community won't soon forget. Officials say it was around 4 in the afternoon when 48-year-old Claudio Neves Valente opened fire in a classroom during a study session. 10 students were shot, 19-year-old sophomore Ella Cook and 18-year-old freshman Muhammad Aziz Murazakov were killed.
Sadly, today is a day that the city of Providence and the state of Rhode Island prayed would never come.
The east side spiraling into mayhem. Streets shut down as first responders balanced their time between treating those injured and searching for the person responsible. ABC6 was among the first on scene, capturing students running for their lives. So right now there is an active shooter situation going on here on the east side. Brown University remains on lockdown at this point as police continue to search for a suspect. We know that multiple people were shot in the area of Thayer Street. Law enforcement narrowing the location down to the Barris and Holly building at the corner of Hope and Waterman Streets. Providence Mayor Smiley delivered the first tragic update around 8 Saturday night.
I can confirm that there are 2 individuals who have died this afternoon, and there are another 8 in critical status, those stable, at Rhode Island Hospital.
In terms of when that suspect was last seen, he was leaving the building on Hope Street. Was that an eyewitness account? Did police see him leave? Was there any interaction with police with that suspect?
No interaction with that suspect with police. That was from eyewitness account.
As the public later came to learn, the suspect passed right in front of Brown security arriving on the scene minutes after the shots rang out. And before that FBI video was revealed, we got our first look at the shooter on this street corner as he turned from Hope Street onto Waterman. Much of the east side remained under a shelter-in-place order overnight, under an eerie silence while snow coated the ground. Miles away at the Coventry Warwick Hampton Inn, Karen Gardner's sleep was suddenly disrupted.
They were just saying, like, it's please open the door.
In an exclusive interview with ABC6, she said she peeked out of her hotel room and saw officers banging on the door across the hall.
I saw police out there. I just figured it was like some ruckus going on.
Gardner soon found out that police had taken a person of interest into custody.
It could have gone bad if there would have been a shootout or something.
ABC law enforcement sources said the man had 2 guns with him at the hotel, adding one of them matched the description provided by witnesses of a gun used in the Brown shooting. But Sunday night, a shocking turn of events. Local leaders revealed they got the wrong guy.
It was actually picked up by the FBI. And they followed through with it. And they ended up coming and locating this individual of interest. And at that point, we did our thorough investigation, examined, ended up drafting some search warrants, came up with some evidence. But that evidence was examined, and we didn't have enough, obviously, to be able to prosecute anybody. And so the person was released.
Hours later, 47-year-old MIT professor Nuno Loureiro was murdered in his Brookline home. The connection between the shootings wasn't realized until a couple of days later when detectives compared notes. Neves Valente had made his way up from Providence to Brookline in a rental car to kill Loureiro, who he knew from his school in Portugal. It was also realized that Neves Valente was a former graduate student at Brown and had taken physics classes in the Barris and Holly building. Of course, it may have taken even longer for that to be realized, if not for a major development in the case Wednesday.
Providence police and city officials updating the latest information on the manhunt for the person responsible for that shooting. New photos were released today of a different person. Police say they need your help identifying the person seen here who was near the person of interest.
And this is one of the spots where the person in those photos, later revealed as John, confronted Neves Valente. We'll show you the video in just a moment, but in that video you'll see John walking this way down Cook Street while Neves Valente takes off running down George Street. Officials have not publicly identified John, but say he was a former Brown student who sometimes stayed in the basement of the Barris and Holly building. Police say he put out a post on Reddit not long after the shooting, describing a suspicious figure driving a car with Florida plates.
When we brought him in, he collaborated further on that vehicle. We put it out through Flock, the description of it, and we learned that within that time period, there was only a certain amount of vehicles that came up with those description fitting it. So our detectives obviously stayed on that and ended up finding this vehicle with Florida plates.
Between Providence and Brookline, investigators say Neves Valente switched his license plate and used technology to keep his phone from being tracked. But law enforcement in Massachusetts ultimately tracked him up to a storage facility in Salem, New Hampshire Thursday night, only to find out he'd killed himself Tuesday.
Ballistics evidence now matches him to both shootings, both in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, and DNA evidence matches him to Rhode Island.
According to ABC News, investigators are now looking through thumb drives they say were found with the body of Neves Valente. They're hoping to find some answers as to why he committed this heinous act.